analysis. Is this stock at a discount at this moment right here, right now? Is it a good spot to pick it up? Let's take a look. This is a yearly chart. I already have my 200-day moving average, which is this red line right here, and 50-day simple moving average, this yellow line. So from here, since it did bounce yesterday, basically off of this 200-day simple moving average, to me it seems like it is consolidating right here, and if it gets above that 50-day simple moving average, which is 53, this yellow line, I'm looking at this level as a resistance. If it gets above that, we highly possibly can go test this trend line. So if we say that this is a downtrend basically right here, if we go back to test that level and if we break out, that would be very, very good bullish setup if it tests this trend line. But until then, it is almost 10-point move for Uber. And Uber is almost $93 billion company without making much revenue, and they're negative, I believe. But it's a growth stock. And from here, even at these levels, it looks pretty attractive to me. First of all, it could be considered as, not could be, but it is a reopening trade, basically, right? Of course, many states, almost maybe 40 or so states reopened, but travel hasn't picked up yet as much. So if that's the case, if we see that TSA numbers keep increasing, I would keep an eye on Uber, okay? So if you're not familiar with TSA numbers, you can just Google it and it will show you daily traffic. Airlines pretty much reported next day in the morning, 9 in the morning, you will see the data for the previous day. And so this is the basically setup right here where, look at this, at $49 level. How many times it did drop to these levels and it bounced off of these levels. Of course, here we slipped below a little, all the way to 45. But if it gets to 45, I would not hesitate to pick it up despite the stock being below its moving average. But look at these pretty much accumulation, in my opinion, happening at these levels. As soon as it gets above this 50-day simple moving average right here, I'm going to be watching it to the upside. But even right here, if you're someone who trades not options, but the shares, I think it's a good spot to start picking it up, this stock, in my opinion. Again, it's not a recommendation for you to buy, sell, or hold. This is just my pure speculation that this stock could be on a discount, in my opinion. I haven't looked at the Lyft, but we'll glance at the end of this video. But these are the levels. Next level of resistance after that trend line, 60. Because almost right here, we did break out right here after earnings for a bit, but couldn't hold on to this 60 right here. Couldn't hold on to 60 right here. Tried to get above 60, hold above 60, couldn't do it. Fell below. So this is gonna be monthly resistance for this stock, okay? So those are the levels in terms of technicals I'm watching. But let's take a look at, for the momentum, MACD, what's going on with that. And then we'll take a look at the options, and then we'll take a look at the Lyft as well. What's going on with Lyft? I haven't looked at these names in a while, but just came across. I think it's a good pickup if we see summer melt up in stock market. So if we take a look at the MACD, it's not really the best looking, but momentum right here was to the upside, but it's still below zero. So, which means not really significant volume coming in at the moment for the stock, I believe. But it's trading with average volume, and if it gets above the zero, I would be very, very interested to play it as a momentum play. But so far, still could be in a choppy zone if you are options traders like me. So when it's choppy, I'm not interested because most of my plays are short term. So let's take a look at the options. If people are making any option bets or made last week, 82,000 calls, 30,000 puts. If we take a look at the times and sales, let's bring it up. I'm seeing biggest orders that came in so far on Friday alone. Most of them, I would say, just by glancing at this first page where I'm seeing the biggest orders, filtering the biggest orders, mostly calls. Weekly, June 18th, 51 call, 50 call, 51 call, 52, 50 call, and then we have June next year, $40 put. I don't know if it's a spread or not. Also, we're seeing calls for June, July, August, and then we're seeing puts for next year. January, not next year, 2023. So I'm seeing $500 contracts of puts were purchased and calls. So this could be this is a spread play. But so far, just by looking at these contracts, I can say short term, people definitely playing it for that bounce from that 200-day moving average level. So because most of the contracts you can see here are only till August. So short term bullish bets, long term not much orders that came in on Friday. So that's what's happening with Uber. Let's take a look at Lyft. Just glance at it. What is it doing? Lyft is much smaller than Uber, but in terms of like having it in a portfolio or buying like a leap calls, I like Lyft much better just because of their market capitalization. It's much smaller, and it from here, despite them almost trading near. So Uber is $49 stock, but Lyft 57 at the moment. This stock could double, triple, while Uber could only go up from wherever it is 20-30% just because of market capitalization. Float, okay? So if you are not familiar with that, just Google it, take a look at the float, why small float stocks can move higher, just like Spotify, or there are a lot of them. Tesla used to be low float relatively for blue chip stocks. So Lyft right here, sitting at that resistance, 59. If it gets above that, next resistance, 65. So looks pretty good, but sitting at the resistance. So it can pull back from here. Not really bad looking, pretty clean chart, I would say, because look at those resistances. I mean, you don't have to be too sophisticated to like look at this chart and say, hey, where are the support resistance levels? Very, very clean chart. So, and also if you look at the yellow line right here, this is 50-day simple moving average. So Lyft is having a hard time to get above that. So if it gets above that, bullish, high likely going back to 65. And then after 65, in my opinion, Lyft is a good stock, and it could go maybe possibly $100 levels by the end of the year if everything reopens, basically say August, and travel just goes wild, and these stocks catch a momentum. It can happen for Lyft. But Uber, large cap, very big float, so it's gonna move slower than Lyft. So both of the stocks looking pretty good from here, but I wouldn't buy Lyft right here until it breaks out. So at the moment, it's just at the supply. So it can come back down to 55. If it loses 55, maybe possibly we'll test the 200-day. But so far, at the resistance, okay? So this is pretty much it for this video. If you liked it, drop a like, subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Peace.